T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello guys and dolls, welcome back to Honey Badger 3D Print and Paint. I am joined by the illustrious Mike on the channel, and today we are taking a look at the M5 from Ankermake with a little caveat. So we are taking a look at it. This particular machine came to us from Evo 3D, who are a UK reseller of Ankermake's products. As a result, this machine is not brand new. So this has been played about with by a couple of other people. So we're going to open the box. Yeah, we're going to open the box and we're going to figure out what we actually are going to get. So unsurprisingly, if you were to buy it, you would get a brand new one. But
and the box won't be done up with gaffer tape.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be done up with gaffer tape. So our one is a second-hand machine. So we'll just, oh God, this is terrible. I've used like, oh, the tape's so thick. Come on. Is there a middle? No. What? I'm confused. Oh, okay. Oh. There we go. It's like a flappy box. I didn't realize it was a flappy box. Oh, the tape's so thick. Right. Oh. Let's go to overhead cam. Oh, I tell you what, for a machine, okay, fair enough. For a machine that's been potentially fiddled about with by the people, it's looking pretty similar. Got an extra little parcel here, which is which is some Evo 3D business cards. Right, okay, so we have half a spool of well, not even half, a tenth of a spool of some craft stuff and some E-Sun filament that has also been used to death. We've got the cable. This here is a very nice little set of tools. Look at that.
That's goofy.
That's very nice. I will say that the 2.5 bit that was supposed to be in it. Oh no, is that in here? Yes, it is, probably. Yeah, all right, we'll probably say that's it. All right, that's a Gucci little toolkit, that. We have the aluminium spool holder.
James, I took your advice and bought a Bamboo Lab P1P. Thanks for you showing me the light. My Pooh's now sits in the garage.
Pooh's now sits in the garage. Where it belongs, Rick. Where it belongs. So you might void warranties, but I bet you're loving the Bamboo. Right. So that is everything on that layer. And then we come to, oh, it's got a peel. Yes. Right. Okay. So this comes out. Put that on the desk. Some more screws. This thing comes out. And this. I'll tell you what, you could have convinced me this was new.
Yeah, if it weren't for the tape on the box.
If it wasn't for the tape on the box. Okay, pop that over there. And that is everything in the box. Okay, right. So we've got the base here, which I mean is machined aluminium. So I don't know if you can see this on this overhead camera. This is literally, this top is a block of aluminium that has just been machined and anodized. So that's pretty cool. We then obviously have the tool head. So, right, so we pop you in there and you in there. Okay, let's do this a bit more sensibly then, shall we? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's quite cool. Okay, hold on. So
it's just got a removable flap.
If we show this, you can see that the back here has a cover that comes off. All the fixed points are underneath here, along with where these motors plug in. There's also a couple of USB-C plugs, which must plug in somewhere, and I'm sure I'll figure those out in a mere moment. Oh, they go through here and they plug into these sections just here. So that is quite nice. So let's move that back to there. Right. So these go through here like this. Oh, this is a bit. So how many arms are you supposed to have to be able to put this in? Because so far I'm counting like 7. Right, we're in. Okay, so I think I should use their tool. Guess we'll be keeping all the parts to this as well, so that there we go, pulling that in. I wonder if it's missing any parts. Well, there's not that many parts to it, so I hope it isn't missing any parts, but we won't know until we turn it on. So that'll be a fun little adventure for all of us.
Yeah, whether it's clogged or not.
Bring me on, Cam. Oh, God. Hold on.
Why? What does he want?
We're going to be invaded by a miniature Sam Prentice. 1 second. Where is he?
A garden gnome with a bad attitude.
Right, there we go. No, I'm joking. Oh, that's very nice. Okay. Pop that in there.
Oh, yeah, no
there's
one
3 screws that hold each motor. Oh, there's 4 screws even that hold each motor in.
No one wants to see that. Sam's in the bath.
I'm in the bath. What?
Do you use one of them little baby bath things that goes in there?
That means his wife's washing him up in the sink.
He's paddling.
Yeah. You know that scene in Deadpool 2 when Deadpool's legs are growing back?
That was just Sam's legs.
That's just Sam's legs. Just superimposed. Anyone who thinks we're famous, like Jesus. My legs haven't been in a Hollywood blockbuster. Baby legs.
He once got into a shoving match with Warwick Davis and it was a draw.
Well, the good news is all the screws are here at least, or at least these screws are here. there's a little bag of other screws. They have also thrown away the instructions, so there's really no way for me to know whether or not the instructions aren't in here. So this is purely me fumbling around in the dark. Again, I want to be clear, there are instructions when you buy it. And we're professionals, so we know what we're doing really all of the time. And whenever it looks like we're not, it's deliberate.
It's just a persona, like it's
it's just my internet persona. My internet persona is one of a hapless fool who doesn't know right from wrong. Right, so that goes in to. Of course, what I haven't actually done is looked forwards. Oh, thank God for that. There's a real moment then where I was like, have I put it on the right way? But I have, so it's fine. Right, and then just behind here, there is where 2 USB-C plugs plug in. So that's those. Does imply that these might be sort of closed loop stepper drivers or something, but the cap goes back on. Okay. There we go. That goes back on like that. Right. We take out kettle cords. We plug it in. I tell you what, I've done a beautiful job with cable management on this. So as you can see, it's a very, very clean design. Oh, that's
it's not quite right.
That can't be right. Hold on. Is it? Well, let's find out. I'm willing to bet it's not meant to be like that. Have we got a... Look, even the wrench is weird. Look at the little wrench. I'm just going to see if... Oh. Well, that's easily one of the fiddliest things I've ever tried to get access to. Hold on. So it's got some eccentric nuts on it. I'm going to give those, or hopefully anyway. Well, I thought I was. That is very, very bizarre. I've never seen. Oh, okay. Guess we found out how long it is that camera lasts for. Use a hammer.
A hammer is James's go-to tool for everything.
It's my gentle persuasion device, as I have explained to you on numerous occasions whenever you have made faces at me. And every single time it's worked. Every single time, without fail. There's absolutely, there we go. Okay. There we go.
That's better.
Perfect. Right. Control. Auto level. Start auto level. So then the only thing we have to figure out, so that's what these 4 screws are for. They've got 4 little screws and they will be to screw in the spool holder. So it's not even for that because those are at the back. So Nope. Right. If I recall from another video, the wheels on this don't push against the extrusions in the normal way. Interesting. Edge of 3D, use a hammer. I'm just washing my eccentric nuts. Oh, jeez. Thanks, Sam. So, just pop this up here. Clearly goes the other way around, you fool.
Well, it's quick to put together.
Yeah. 8 screws if you include the, 12 screws if you, no. Yeah, 12 screws if you include the ones for the spool holder, but 8 screws and you're up and running. It's an incredibly clean looking machine.
Looks
so
nice.
If I just pull
I like
this
the
here,
anodized colour.
and then I suppose I'll have to go and turn that camera back on so that you can, so we can do a close up. Cool. Well, it would be a close up if it wasn't, so
Out of focus.
there we go. Right. So I'll say this, it isn't particularly quick on the heat up, especially on the bed. It's not an AC heated bed for sure. But it is definitely doing its job. Just that was it doing its Z alignment. I feel like there's a little bit of, like, is there a peel there? I feel like there's a peel. Oh, there is. Oh, I want to get it. Oh, I'll have to leave it now. That's really annoying. Well, anyway, that's going to go and do its little bed leveling job. And then let's pop this up here. Pop this. Well, if there's a tangle on this ball, we all know why. It's going through and doing its thing. So the Anker, let's just pull up some of the specifications so that we can do that while we're going through. So for a start, it claims to be 5 times faster. I'm assuming when it says 5 times faster, it's talking about being 5 times faster than, say, an Ender 3. So normal printing speed for like an Ender style machine is like 50 millimeters a second. So this is claiming 250, maybe 300. You can do that on you can push a bed slinger that fast. It can be a little bit difficult, and it's harder when you're dealing with sort of this level of build volume, because the acceleration means that the print head can't actually go fast enough to be able to do that. It says precise 0.1 millimeter detail. I mean, all right, that's kind of impressive, except the Bamboo Labs does 0.08. So a bit different there. It has got an AI built-in camera. It's supposed to work from your phone, your computer, or from the display. It's got a 7x7 auto leveling grid. It'll do its own time lapses. Print volume 235 by 235 by 250, so very ender sized there. It does have its own slicer. I am not sure what the slicer is based on because I haven't downloaded it yet. So it is claiming 250 millimeters a second, which, yeah, okay. Driven by power boost. You achieve high precision. So the acceleration is 2,500 millimeters a second, which isn't a particularly high acceleration. It is for a Cartesian. Clipper machines would do a lot more than that, but again. And then it's got its ultra direct drive, which is somehow more direct drive than other direct drives. It's got a larger heat block, so it will melt quicker. 2 radial fans for its airflow. It's a very solid block of aluminium. I will say that. So it's got a really low center of gravity. 3-core CPU. Yep. Integrated 1080p camera. Real-time monitoring up to 720p. Time lapse of 1080. AI system recognition for like a spaghetti detective, and then it works with the slicer or it works with the app. So pretty good. It's not faster on the heat up though. So I think what it's implying is that it's got a larger melt zone, so it should be able. No, the spool holder goes on the side. There are some screw hikes halfway down. Oh, okay. So not on the top, but out here. Does it matter? More direct than direct, but definitely more. However direct you thought it was, this is more. More direct than that. Cool. That seems like a fun noise. Abnormal auto level. The current print job has stopped. Please go to the Ankermake. Oh, cool. Okay. So we'll try that again then, shall we? Right. Well, while that goes back through, Mike, do you want to show people what you have been working on? Because what you have been working on is incredibly cool, and I want to show people already. Well, I can't hear you anymore, Michael. So I don't know if you've turned off your microphone.
Is that better?
Yes, that is better. Yeah.
I think my mic's run out.
Right.
What I'm actually doing is printing Sam a Stormtrooper outfit.
Right.
So I've got one leg completed. I've got the rest of the arms and legs and hands in the process of being finished. But I've still got to finish sanding the body.
Oh, it's so cool.
So this was all done on the Frozen. This is heavy. It's hollow, but this is heavy. I think
so. Okay. So start to finish, how long? Because I'm assuming you had to hollow all those, and then you had to do them all.
So the legs we had to cut in half because they were too long to do in one piece. So the legs were cut in half. So there was 4 pieces for the legs, 2 arms, 2 hands, the head. Which I don't. Oh, here's the head. which I've started painting. And then the body, we had to cut into 5 pieces.
Jesus.
And 2 of the pieces pretty much maxed out a lot of the build plate on the Frozen.
Just give me 1 second. I'm going to go and grab some other. Filament. 1 sec.
So that finished printing. What day are we on now? Sunday. That finished printing on Friday. But because this has been rattle canned, because I want it gloss, drying times are a pain with this. It's a good couple of hours in between coats. It's 3 coats to get the final finish. But obviously with things like the legs, you can't spray the whole leg, so you spray the top half. That's, a good few hours. And then once that's dry, which is 24 hours, you then got to spray the bottom half of the leg. So it's actually taking a day and a half to get the coats, final coats on everything. And now I don't know where my charger wire is for my microphones, which is a pain because they were new. Also, you can't see it on the camera here, but my workshop has a massive coat of dust over everything, like literally everything. There's nothing in here that has not got dust layer over it. It's ridiculous. And I don't know where. I've still got to sand the rest of that body, so I haven't bothered cleaning it up yet. But to be honest, I don't know how I'm going to clean it up because it's a mix of resin and dust and other horrible things. So this is going to be an absolute nightmare to clean up once I finish this. No, I didn't want to print it in white because Stormtrooper's obviously got a gloss finish. And if I'd have printed it in white, it just wouldn't have been the same. Plus, I had to join it, which means I had to fill it and sand it. So it's a mix of all different resins. I had different resins. I was just kept pouring in litre after litre after litre after litre. Yeah, for some reason, everyone seems to be out tonight. I hate going out Sunday evenings. I've breathed in loads of it non-stick. I've breathed in loads of dust and loads of fumes off of rattle cans and things like that. So I've already got it bad, whatever it is. Yeah, Vegas, Jerry might have a load of dust in it, but dust generally doesn't live in my workshop because I don't live in Vegas.
I think he's just trying to say the amount of resin dust that you're probably inhaling from when you sand, like, it's going to be unpleasant.
Oh, there's loads. There's loads.
All right, so let's just. That goes through there. So this does seem to be having a problem when it comes to doing the normal bed level, and I'm not really sure why. So this should be it aligning both sides of the Z. And then it's supposed to go through and do a bed level.
Yeah, you found it.
What'd you find?
The charger for my microphones.
That's probably why it was returned. So I want to be clear, this wasn't a return. It was with somebody else to test. It's then come to us.
But we don't know how many people it's been to test with.
Well, yeah, it could be a few. Hi, Larry. So I suppose as well, we're more than likely going to have to. So we need to open up. So there is the Ankermake Studio, which is Anker's slicer. Looks really similar to Cura, to be honest. Let's just have a look and see. It's using Cura's engine and it's using slicers. Okay, so they've modified that. Right. So I would say this is based off of Cura, which is fine. We use Cura for most of our stuff anyway. I'll not lie, it's getting more than a little bit tiresome constantly having everybody reinvent the slicer. Stop it. Give me a Cura slicer or a Cura profile, or same with resin printers as well. Uniformation is doing it where they've got their own slicer. Frozen are bringing out their own premium slicer. Like, people need to stop developing their own freaking slicers. It's unnecessary. They don't need to do it. Please stop. It's definitely an issue with the leveling. Okay, so let's try and do this a different way then. Let's try doing a bit of Z-axis leveling ourselves. So that to the bottom is there. That to the bottom is there. It's going to be a short video if we can't even get it to level. Simplify 3D V5 just for right. So I mean, right, we did pay for an original version of Simplify 3D version 4.1 or whatever it was when it came out like 19 years ago. But since then, people have grown up. Some people have died. It's been a ridiculous amount of time. V5 has now come out. They claim that they're supporting it. They've gone off and they've just released version 5.1. I'm going to be honest and say that while Simplify 3D was one of the quickest slicers we used, it very, very quickly fell behind the times when they spent like 6 years trying to bring out the next update.
And then made you pay for it.
Yeah, and now, after you bought that update for life nonsense, now you have to pay quite a lot, I might add, for an upgrade to get version 5. I'm going to tell you now that we are not going to use version 5. I refuse to pay for
Well,
this.
one of the main reasons as well, whenever we FDM print stuff, we use tree supports.
Yeah.
It's not an option.
And it's still not an option in Simplify 3D. Tree supports save us a hell of a lot of filament and an awful lot of time.
Massive amount of time.
It's a massive.
They're easier to remove.
Yeah, absolutely. So not happy about that at all. And frankly, all the features that they claim to have are just.
Even if they did the one thing that we use, which is tree supports, I still wouldn't pay for the upgrade.
Yeah, I wouldn't be paying for the upgrade for them. So just so we're clear as well, Simplify 3D did reach out to us and offer us a copy for review. And we've said no. They have spat in the face of the community for the last 5 years. They have been a joke for longer than that. They've let a lot of people down. They've made a lot of empty promises. We are not going to participate in whatever this is. Wow, that's not cool. So It does not want. It just does not want to do it, does it? Just trying to figure out why it would be failing like that.
It's failing right at the end, isn't it?
Not really. So the point that it's failing at is like where it's trying. It's almost like it's trying to level the left and the right, and that's causing it to.
It would remind us of that hotel, Carl, except the lights and stuff didn't work. So
let's move that down. Okay, let's just check all of our connections. Yeah. The Z-axis, the end stops are all clearly working, and the probe's clearly working because it's doing its probe. I'm getting funny looks at my family meal. The mother-in-law is snarling. Well, we all know why that is. Because your mother-in-law is terrible. And she's not watching this, so she'll never know how terrible she is. Any good red light stops in Brighton. Well, your mother-in-law's open for business, mate. So you could always put that in the free hits. Oh, that's going to get me in so much trouble if this is on loudspeaker.
Which I think it is.
Playing this at the dinner table, that's gonna come up. He's going to get mentioned. He's going to get in so much trouble, and he's got a bad leg, so he can't even run away.
Yeah. Because he had to have a pasty surgically removed from it.
Yeah. You can meet non-stick, he knows why they are there. So it does feel like the bed's not low enough. Because that was this, like... Okay, well, we'll see what it does. It's definitely hitting the bed. I can see it. Is there a manual in the Z settings? Well, there is, but there's only a manual Z offset setting. This is literally just trying to align the Z axis. Both Z's are working because it's moving up and down. It should not take this many attempts to align the Z-axis. So it moved the right up then.
Nothing is the Hydra printer all over again.
Oh.
That was bad news and a headache from start to being thrown in the tip.
I remember, when I got to the dump, one of the dump people, there you go, and now it won't do it. So it's not detecting properly. It's trying to align the Z, and it's not detecting properly on one side. I went to the tip, and one of the bin people came over, and they were like, "Oh, what's that?" Because the second that you've got anything that doesn't look like trash, they want to They want their little. They
Magpies.
want to get it. And I was like, honestly, mate, don't. He was like, oh, what is it? Like, can I? Is it any good? And I was like, if it was any good, would I be at the dump? I was like, no, it's garbage. He was like, oh, okay. Right, let's do a system restore.
That could have been why.
What's that?
You hadn't built that off.
It could have been. Yeah, it could. That could have been it. Right, let's see if it can do this again then, shall we? This is supposed to be just set up and go. So I've done a restore to see what turn the bed knobs. Brilliant. There aren't any bed knobs. So I'm now I've done a restore to see whether or not there's perhaps there was a Z offset setting or something that was saved. I don't know. So we will see whether or not that fixes the issue. Right, come on. Otherwise, this is going to be a really short stream.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Well, it's not done that yet.
Okay, right. Okay, so restore, obviously something that, have you tried using a hammer? That was going to be option number 2. So there we go. So it's now going through and doing its bed check. So it's got a 40-point leveling system or something. So it will go through and it will do that now. So there must have been a setting, a saved Z height or something that was causing an issue. The issue is now resolved. So lovely. I am desperately trying. There we go. Right. So let's make sure that support settings are off. Yeah. Now we have to play a fun game as to whether or not I have a USB stick that I could use. This will work.
Well,
So
when we were moving the studio around, we found hundreds of micro USBs.
We have, yeah. So there isn't a USB stick that came with this. I will caveat that and say that I'll caveat that and say that again, there may very well have been a USB stick that comes with it.
Someone hasn't put it back.
Just someone didn't put it back. Someone's got a really nice Anker USB stick knocking about. Right, so what they have got is a USB-C to USB Type A extender. this does print on Wi-Fi, and traditionally that's, well, the insinuation anyway is that that's really what you should be using most of the time. I haven't put this on my network yet, so that's why I'm not using. There's an SD card slot on the side. Is it? No, there's not. No, there isn't. That's not true. Nope, there's not an SD card slot on the side. The old firmware has fans capped a little too low. Okay. Well, once
apparently they brought out new firmware recently to combat stringing.
Right. Okay. Fine. Well, look, what I've seen is we've had issues so far. Maybe print something simple like spaghetti. So next to the USB port. No, there's no. Not on this one. There's definitely. I don't know if you'll be able to see on this. No. So that's just a USB. That's just a USB-C port. There's nothing next to it, around it, nothing on the side. So, no. It's just the USB-C. Look, I mean, much like with the Bamboo, we'll more than likely end up printing directly from the slicer via the Wi-Fi. I haven't put this on the Wi-Fi yet. I just want this to do its leveling thing. Once it's leveled, we can do the Z offset. And once the Z offset is done, we can just throw a print on and see how it goes. To be fair, I know you're saying we've had issues already, but to be fair, those issues just seem to be that. I was going to say they seem to be there was something on it that was saved, and as soon as we did a reset, it immediately started working. So I'm not sure what the issue was or what was saved, whether it was something to do with the old Z offset, whether it was something to do with the way that it had done the bed level before, but. But it is now doing what it needs to do, so. There we go. So that has finished the bed level now. So now we will Z offset. Just moving this to the middle so that we can do the Z offset. Wait until the camera calibration finishes. Okay, all right, we'll let you do your own offset then we'll see who's laughing. Can't see with James in the way. Well, I'm trying to read the screen. Say, printer like this would have been nice if it was an AC heated bed, but it is. Oh, for God's sake! But it isn't. So there's that. Kind of feels like you should get an AC heated bed with something like this. Bearing in mind how much money they've spent on.
How much are these to buy?
So right now, if you want to buy one, 749 English pesos. So they are priced roughly 50 quid under a Prusa Mark III, which does seem to be the somewhat low-hanging fruit that everyone seems to be going for at the moment, to be honest. Tell me you're not going to have to go through and do that whole leveling process all over again. Can't do 40-point leveling every single time you print, surely. No, doesn't look like it. Wow. Nope. Okay, we'll stop doing that. Okay. So let's clean the nozzle first, because that's clearly gross. Should point out, I also don't know what anybody did with this on the last time they... Right, try again. So much fun. £50 more than the P1P. So, okay. Would I buy this or the P1P? So before we've even seen what this prints like, would I buy this over a P1P? I'm turning into a bit of a Bamboo Labs fanboy.
I'm hoping to get a Bamboo soon.
Yeah, I'll be honest and say I would almost invariably. I bet the last reviewer is watching and having a laugh. Probably after he clogged the nozzle and did what it is. Is it better than the Snapmaker? So I can't really answer that, Twins.
We haven't used this yet, or the Snapmaker.
Yeah. This is the first print that this is doing, or supposed to be. It's not loving putting this down, is it? All right, well, let's give it time. So we haven't used the Snapmaker. Frankly, the Snapmaker at this point is kind of an outdated machine. So even the 350 2.0 is like 2-3 years old. I'd be surprised if the Snapmaker could really match this. I'll say that the fan that's just kicked in isn't quiet. So I don't know if you can hear that. But hold on.
Yeah, you can hear that.
Yeah, that's got a bit of a whine to it. The Snapmaker at this point is just outdated, which is pretty much the same as the Prusa is. I don't necessarily think this is better or worse than a Prusa. It's just that the Prusa is outdated. I'm going to get the AMS for my P1P unless you have one going free. If you don't ask, you don't get. No, so we use the AMS on ours all the time. So we have an AMS on our Bamboo. So what are we doing then? You just printed the first layer and then you've stopped. So why have you stopped? Okay, weird. So we use the AMS.
Did it take a picture?
Pardon?
Did it just move that to take a picture?
I hope not, because that's going to get boring.
It's going to be the longest cube ever.
No, because it went over into the corner, and it moved the bed out. Like it can't be doing that, surely. me go back. I don't actually think there's a... So a bunch of stuff is turned off by default. So linear advance is turned off, relative extrusion is turned off, which is interesting. Well, it's not doing it again, so
Don't know what that was about then.
so I don't know why it did that. Just have a look at the speed. So the speed is up at 250 at the moment, and it's motoring along. I could believe that it's going at 250 right now. No acceleration control enabled by default. Okay. Maybe it's following the UK train driver's footsteps and going on strike. Could very well be unionised, who knows? So, yeah, so as I was saying, would I buy this or the P1P? Well, the P1P for me is a much more versatile machine. For a start, you can do ABS on it. You can print your own panels for the P1P, and you effectively get an enclosed machine. Personally, I am loving the X1 Carbon. We've also recently got in the V400 from FL Sun, and we just did this. So this isn't painted. This is just printed as is, and we're doing another one in vase mode, and it will be it's supposed to work like a lamp, and sort of work like a little nightlight. But that was all done on the V400, and I mean,
quality is really good.
Yeah, I thought Deltas were perhaps a little bit limited. So I thought the Deltas were not really, like, they weren't as versatile as regular FDM machines. I no longer think that with the V400. The V400 is a really well put together machine. It does do the 400 millimeters a second that it claims. I'm not massively in love with the bit with the sort of the footprint the V400 takes up, because it takes up, it's a triangle, but it takes up curves outside of those triangles when it's trying to do to the outside. So that can be a little bit annoying. But yeah, the V400. So we've got the review of that's coming, and yeah, it's that machine's been a little bit special. I mean, he's going. Perhaps took a little bit longer than it should have done to get to that point, but
we'll blame that on the last person.
We'll blame that on the last person. Whoever the last reviewer was, boo you. All right, All right, let's just see if we can. There we go. So look, I mean, it's got a pulsy green light. It's going at the speed it's supposed to be going. It's motoring along. It's a nice enough little machine. The thing is with V-slot wheels and a direct drive tool head and in a Cartesian format, can it really rewrite the format of 3D printing? I challenge that it probably can't. Is this going to be a relatively low hassle machine? Probably. Like, you know, once you've got it working, it's going to do the job. I did get an FL Sun QQS Pro off eBay for 50 quid, including postage, but it's missing the belts and the level sensor. Rick, drop us an email, because I think I have a spare leveling sensor for one of those somewhere. I don't know 100% where. but I'm 34% sure that I've got one. Maybe even 42%. Drop us an email or drop me a Facebook message, and I can get you the leveling sensor out. I've got some belts that I can stick in there. I don't know if they'll be long enough for a QQS, but whatever I've got, I can fling over. So this machine was given to us by Evo 3D. Evo 3D are a UK reseller. We've got some really cool projects coming up with Evo 3D. So they have some really cool machines. They've got
machines.
Yeah, they've got large industrial machines, and they're one of the only suppliers in the UK for robotic arm printers, but industrial sized ones. So they can print free form. And then and they've got like literally articulated arms on like a big freaking octopus thing. It's brilliant. So I hear Mike on an iPhone.
I'm just actually talking to someone about getting another printer to review.
Right. Okay. Do I want to know what one it is, or am I going to be annoyed?
I can't actually remember.
I don't want to know. I already don't want to know. Because whatever it is, you didn't immediately volunteer the information. Which
No,
means
I forgot.
I probably already don't like it.
I forgot.
Like, I swear to God, if you turn up at this house with a chocolate printer again, like, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. It'll be one of the most dramatic splits in cinematic history since like Brad and Angelina broke up.
No, this one's for white chocolate.
Oh, that's much better. Well, the good news is that this is now printing, so we love that. So now it's just a question of, I like this little toolkit. Like the little toolkit's Gucci. So like, it's got like a little embossing on the front and everything. Like, it does seem like every time you open it, it does immediately remove all the bits and throw them around the pot. But other than that, it's really nice. I like the fact that everything in this is black as well. Like
stealth.
Like a little stealth kit. Very nice looking printer. Loving the simplicity of the shell and the green LEDs. Yeah, look, I mean, someone's put some real effort into how this needs to look. Like, and I get that. I get that they've put time in. I get that they've put energy in. It does look nice. So, like, if I just pull that in a little bit. You're going to focus properly. Well, it's quite a bit worse, but fine. I mean, look, someone's put some serious thought into the design, and it is really, it's looking really nice, right? It's a really nice looking machine. It's doing its job. It's printing away. It's fine. What I would say is that this was launched on Kickstarter, like probably a couple of months just before the Bamboo Labs hit the market, and the Bamboo Labs was a real market disruptor, whereas this is, it's another machine to the lineup. It's easily gonna, match your Prussias, and it'll outmatch Enders and all of that kind of stuff. Like, it's not an entry grade machine at all. This is a sort of a beginning of a prosumer, the kind of thing you'd maybe have in a classroom, because you've got that automatic time lapse. All the extrusions are away, so you can't stick fingers in places that you shouldn't. The extruder and tool head is nice and enclosed and sort of encapsulated. So,
and you're not worrying about bed leveling. And
you haven't got to worry about bed leveling. Like, I think it'd be a really good machine for like a classroom or for a maker space or something like that. Because of the fact that it's networked, you will also get a decent amount if you were using it as a farm software, as a sort of machine for farming or something like that. Like, it's nice. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem is at the time this came out, if the Bamboo Labs hadn't have come out, this would have been a really strong contender for a machine you should absolutely go out and buy. And then the Carbon came out, and you were like, okay, well, that's still a bit expensive. Like, this is a bit cheaper. If you're not really looking to spend like nearly £1,000, then maybe buy this. And then the P1P came out, and the conversation gets a little bit more complicated because there's really nothing that this is doing that the P1P couldn't do a little bit faster, probably a little bit better.
And if you printed the enclosure, it can print materials this can't.
Yeah, once you've printed the enclosure, you're going to be able to do ABS, you're going to be doing PET-Gs and PET-Ts and things like that. All right, you won't be doing carbon fiber on a P1P, but you also won't be doing that on this. So Bamboo Labs, when it came in, it has acted as a market disruptor should, which is that people in the industry got a little bit lazy and they were polishing their machines, but they weren't doing anything new. The sort of the biggest innovation in 3D printing really came out of the Hevo project most recently anyway, with Voron picking up with that and Rat Rigs and people like that. They picked up those machines and they made something, really special, really quick, everything else. Just sent you a message. Yeah, no worries, Rick. I'll respond to that after the live stream. It was really Bamboo coming in, and Bamboo have been a disruptor. They have brought in a machine that has features on it that were reserved for Raise 3Ds and Ultimakers and craft bots and sort of more pro machines with a pro price tag, right? Where if you want a reliable machine, you go and buy a Prusa. If you want a great machine, you go and buy an Ultimaker or a Markforged or whatever, because you need something special. It's brought those things to Bamboo. Bamboo has brought that to the consumer market, to the hobbyist level, where £1,200 is a lot of money, but they're slowly building a lineup that will mean that if you don't want to spend £1,200, you don't actually have to, and you can decide the things that you want. Bamboo Lab has pretty much given all 3D marketing teams some headaches to deal with, and they are seeing not only people purchasing Bamboos, but seeing them purchasing multiple machines. Agreed. I know multiple people who have multiple X1s. I mean, Sam, as a prime example, has got I think Sam's got 3 or 4 P1Ps. He's got quite a few. He's got a new space that he's creating, and he's putting sort of some really nice machines in there. But again, that P1P is going to be, the backbone of a lot of his droid building moving forwards, because he doesn't always need the space and the build volume of his rat rig, and instead he just needs something that's quick, reliable, will print at high quality, and can bang out those prints. And the P1P really is that. There's still a place in the market for machines like this, because, for example, I wouldn't put a P1P in a classroom. I think it's too exposed. I think there's too many people who can stick their fingers in things. I don't think the P1P is something I'd put in a classroom. I'd put something like this in a classroom, because I think this is much more sleek and sort of everything's all enclosed. You can't
and quieter.
Fingers in. It is quieter.
The Bamboo would, although the Carbon could go in a classroom, it's all enclosed, nothing you get to. The noise is not going to work.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I know that a lot of classrooms that would have a printer in them, they're not a normal class where you're sort of, where you're teaching math or whatever, you're going to be you're going to be
It'll be a practical classroom.
Yeah, it's going to be a practical classroom, but I really like this for classrooms, and then I really like the P1P for just actual maker spaces, for a really good hobbyist machine. The P1P print's just a bit bigger than the Ender 3. It seems actually smaller in size of footprint to an Ender 3, and they just need to try and make it heavier. So it's thank you very much, 3DP. Very nice, thank you. So yeah, agreed. There's a reality that. So this is something I found the other day as well. The Ender 3 S1 has the same footprint as my Sidewinder X1 does, which is insane because the Sidewinder X1 is 300 by 300 by 400. And the Bamboo, my X1 Carbon, again, the footprint isn't that much larger, but because it's a Core XY, it's much more efficient in how it uses the space. If you have an AMS and it's on top, then I actually think the Bamboo Carbon takes up less space overall than something like an Ender 3, or certainly than the Creality machines would do. And the P1P is, a very similar story as well. I'll say that I'm looking forward to them going bigger. I want bigger build volumes. I want
some sleep.
I want like 350. I think 350, and that's the kind of build volume I want to see. But we'll see what they do next. So this is churning away.
What's that? Five minutes left.
5 minutes left. Yeah. So what have you got left to do on the? What have you got left to do on the?
So I've got one leg. I've got to do another coat of white on.
Right.
I've started putting all the black down on all the parts, but I've still got to sand the last part of the body.
Yeah.
And then start painting that. And the body's probably going to be the best part of 3 days to paint, just to put the white down. Because it's about an hour to 2 hours in between coats.
Right.
And it's 24 hours before you can touch it or you mark it.
Right, okay. And then you've got to lacquer it as well, yeah?
The clear coat dries in like 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So literally as soon as the white's done, I'm putting the clear coat down so that when I'm handling it to paint the black, I'm not then leaving marks.
Right. And you're cracking on doing another Titan, right?
So I need to get back to the Titan, but I need to finish painting this first because every surface I've got has got parts on it.
Right.
For the Stormtrooper. So I need to finish this first so I can clear some space so that when I'm actually cleaning up parts, I've actually got somewhere to do it.
Right, okay. I'll say this. The problem with the Titan is that it's just the sheer amount of space that the Titan takes up and the sheer amount of parts that it's got. So you can see in the background that Mike's got my Titan there. And the only reason my Titan is there is because there's no instructions on how to build that Titan. So he's got my Titan for reference.
there's like a few hundred parts to that Titan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've printed off maybe 150 parts, and none of them parts fit together yet.
No.
I've got two pieces that go together.
Yeah, so things like the toes have they each have their own individual gas struts. There's 5 toes or 6 toes even, I think. 5 or 6 toes. Then 4. 4. Okay, not close then. But they each have their own gas strut. And then depending on how you pose the model, depends on how that gas strut needs to go, depends on where that leg needs to go and how it needs to bend, and that affects all the other ones. and all the gas struts fit inside of each other and work like actual pistons.
Yeah.
So it's actually really hard to get it all together, because once it's together, you then have to figure out how you're posing it. And once it's posed, you pretty much have to glue it in place posed. So
yeah, you have to glue it as you're going.
Yeah, near enough. And it can be really, like, it can be a real pain. But, we started doing the top layers, I think. I'll tell you this, he's doing a beautiful job. So this is just eSun's PLA plus white.
I think I used 5 to 6 litres doing this Stormtrooper.
Right. Well, then, to be fair, I mean, that's with supports, and you are doing something the size of a 5-year-old. So I think that makes... I don't think that's a lot, really, bearing in mind how much you've actually printed. I know it's all hollow, but there's supports inside of all of that.
Yeah. And, like, the actual body part, it's actually really heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's good, because you want it to have, like, some... You want it to have some weight.
Well,
Where's the little,
over, put it that way.
Right. Have you done have you done anything on the rifle yet?
The guns, no, I haven't painted it yet. So that's ready to go to paint.
I think that's brilliant. I think that's actually
It's
brilliant.
actually like you can put your finger in the grip, like it's actually a pistol sized.
Yeah. So here's a question then. Is that going to be glued to the model?
No.
Or does it just slot in?
Slots in, so that his left hand is curved and it's got a finger sticking out, which is
right.
This one here.
Yeah.
So as it goes in, it slots into his hand and the finger actually curves into the trigger.
That's cool. That's cool. I just like that because that means that if she wants to, she can actually... So that's going to your tattoo artist, right?
Yeah.
So I just think it's cool because she's also a tiny, tiny person. And she...
Yeah, this is almost rifle size for her.
Oh, excellent.
So this has been done as a swap art for art. I've made her a Stormtrooper. She's given me a full day of tattooing.
Full day?
Yeah.
So what are you having done? There's not enough of you to do a full day, surely.
Well, it's going to be ankle to knee.
Oh, okay. What, like a leg sleeve or just a big...
Half, just the inside of my leg.
Right, okay.
I've got the outsides and the other inside done, so I've only got one clean calf. And that's the inside.
Okay. That's a good deal. That's not a bad deal.
Yeah, because I never even paid for this resin, so it's cost me £30 in paint.
Honey Badger logo. Right, so it didn't do the initial prime line very well, and it didn't print the skirt, but it did print the model very well. So let's come forwards, change camera, pull that forward.
Time is relative, Del, because I'd be in here anyway. So
right, so this, are we going to focus? Let's find out.
Might be better off using the other one.
There we go. So this is the cube. Really quite nice. And this one as well has a hinge in it. So I really like using this one for testing. So like...
It's out of focus massively. Use the main camera.
There we go. That's better. So you can see, really quite nice. I think I'll try using the main camera and see if I can.
That's 1,000 times better.
All right, hold on. Oh, now I'm going to try and figure out where the camera is. And there. Okay, so this is the calibration cube. And what you can do is, it's got a live hinge inside. So it prints really quite nicely. That's on a 0.2 layer height. And I'll tell you what.
Seen much worse than that.
I've seen cubes a lot worse than that. That's printing at 250 millimeters a second. There is, hold on. There is just, oh, hold on. See if I can get that in the light. There you go. There is a little bit of band in there. But to be clear, we've done really no setup in the slicer for this at all. Can I see what the last reviewer had printed on the sheet? So no. What I will say is, so when I did that first print, it was too low to the bed. Now on normal PEI sheet, that would have gouged the bed right out. This hasn't. So it looks like it's a really nice hard wearing, like a nice hard wearing build sheet. You can't see any scratches or any damage from anyone who used it previously. So you can't see what else is on there.
But we also don't know whether they just put a new sheet on it before they sent it to us.
Yeah. Could have just done that, I suppose.
Because
I don't think that is the case.
Because if it was that low, I'll argue the last thing they printed didn't print.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that whatever it was they last printed, like I couldn't even get with their settings, I couldn't even get it to level. So, yeah. But anyway, that is an Ankermake M5 working. I think that's a really quite a nice machine. Had a little bit of faff to begin with. I want to be clear that faff was because this machine has been used before, not necessarily because this machine is hard to use. But by the by, I think it's quite nice. I think it has a place. I think it's a very refined version of a printer. And when we get this connected to the network, we'll do the firmware update. And then in a few days, we will do a full review of this, and you can take a look and see how that does. But for now, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for bearing with us during some of those technical difficulties, which is really part and parcel of being part of the channel. We're only about 30,000 views away from 1 million views on the channel.
Yeah.
So we're going to be pushing a few more videos out in the next few days. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and tick that bell so you know whenever we're coming live. We've got our new Facebook group as well. Please go over there and join our Facebook group. You'll get some exclusive content and a few other bits and pieces as well. But other than that, have a great evening. Happy printing, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.